And we back once again. It's your boys, No Jobbers Allowed, and we coming back at you with another Raw review, this time for Monday, December 3rd, 2018. And like always, I'm your boy, Big-ish, and with me on the mic like always is.
Man, it is your guy, Erwin. And I have to say that last week's Raw was probably one of the most disappointing episodes of Raw that I've seen in a long time. But this week was a little bit better in quality, so I'm a little bit excited to get into this one. What was your first take? What'd you think?
Overall, it was still a pretty bad Raw, but definitely better than last week, but it doesn't take much to do that.
Definitely. So let's get right into this so we can kind of discuss some of these things. First, we kick off Raw with actually a match this time. We get Ronda Rousey and Natalya versus Tamina and Nia Jax, man. And, it starts off with both of our teams coming out to the ring. But then to interrupt this match, we get Ishmael's favorite, the Riot Squad.
You already know what it is, baby. Riot Squad, let's get it.
Yeah, man. And they end up... everybody gets beat up. They put Natalya through a table. So this match really didn't start, and they went to a commercial with Natalya being beaten up and the referees checking on her at ringside. What was your take on this first segment?
Man, it was great. You already know, anytime I see my Riot Squad get their shine on, I love it always. And this time it was particularly good because they are building this Natalya and Ruby Riott feud in a way that I can get behind. So I thought it was great. Super kick into a double super power bomb through the table was a very great spot. So I got A's all around for that part. And then, of course, we're not even going to talk about Tamina yet.
No, we won't talk about Tamina yet because we see plenty of her on the show. Yeah, I liked it too. I think that it's good to get the Riot Squad involved and not just in 15-man tag matches or whatever the hell they have. So, continuing all that back from the break, you see Natalya and Ronda backstage. Ronda Rousey is not happy, man. Then we get dude, she looks mean, man. That's her stares are extremely believable, man. She looks pissed off. I just wish they wouldn't let her talk so much. In a good way. You guys know what I'm saying, because she's about that action. They go to the ring, and we get another segment where Alexa Bliss is doing an open forum with Sasha Banks and Bayley. Again. And pretty much the synopsis over this, I think this is to get the women's tag team division actually started up, and because they did refer to something about getting some tag team titles in 2019.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the only good part about it was they spoke that into the ether. Now it's not just people's pipe dream. They can really they might get to see that now that we know that's what Bayley and Sasha want. So there's no way WWE should be able to sidestep that now.
Yeah, it's on the radar, and after they said something about, they want to be the first ever women's tag team champions, we get Dana Brooke, Mickie James, and Alicia Fox out to the ring, and we get ourselves a good old tag team match, which sees Sasha Banks and Bayley winning that. So it's good that they're kind of trying to build that up. I would just like to see these heel tag teams be a little bit better, man. I don't know if they can get an identity, but it's like they throw any two women together with Mickie James and Alicia Fox, and they just make it work.
I mean, Mickie James, super veteran, even Alicia Fox, super veteran. So I think that's what they're trying to do is like those two been in the game so long. If you can't work with them, who can you work with?
This is true, man. This is true. I like it. Moving on to the next segment, we get another backstage
the winners of that, though. You guys say the winners of
that. Sasha Banks and Bayley.
Which the listeners should have already figured out by that booking who was going to win.
You guys should have known that. It's been the same thing that they've been going through for the past 3 months, it seems like. Next segment, we get Ronda Rousey backstage. She catches up with Alexa Bliss. Yells at her, man, saying she's doing a good job running Raw. They still want to continue with, or Ronda Rousey still wants to continue with this Nia Jax and Tamina tag team match. So she's going to find a partner and she walks off, man. So that's doing a good job of bridging together these segments, which I really, really like with Ronda Rousey with all these things.
I did enjoy that too. I think really with the Ronda angles, they're actually doing pretty well. I'm on WWE's creatives' neck all the time, but they've been doing pretty well. So you got to always give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, man, they've built her up very quickly as a legitimate competitor, and I like the fact that she's not like Brock Lesnar, where she comes once in a while. She's not like somebody who just shows up. She's a fighting champion, so it gives us something to cheer for and something to look forward to every single week. So the next we get a backstage segment with Baron Corbin. We get plenty of these tonight, and Bobby Roode is furious about Drake Maverick urinating on his robe last week. They give Bobby Roode the chance tonight, though. If he can beat Drake Maverick in a singles match, they get a shot at AOP for the tag team titles, which, again, I like the fact that there's some continuity and the fact that, even when they were booking this match, we kind of knew what was going to happen, but we can get to that a little bit later. What do you think about this backstage segment? Since a couple weeks ago I was pissed off about the whole AOPP thing. They're kind of continuing this. What do you think?
It's at least good to think that they do hear some of our complaints, like as being part of WWE Universe as fans. They do hear some of our complaints and take some of it into consideration. Right. Granted, you're not supposed to listen to every fan and take their critiques to the head like that. But sometimes after everyone says that show sucks, you had to go and look back at it and go, well, if you were WWE creative and say, well, did it really suck that bad? And then listen to what your fans said could have made it better and at least let some of that in. So I thought that was pretty cool of them to at least do it a little bit that way. And with this continuity, like you were saying, it showed, hey, we didn't just forget about what we did last week as a little throwaway gimmick. So it was pretty good, and I enjoyed it. Or at least I didn't hate it.
Yeah, it wasn't hateable. So next segment, though, it's something that I'm not liking at all, and it's been a consistent thing, I guess, since we started this podcast. To be honest with you, man, we get Scott Dawson, one half of the Revival, versus the Lucha House Party.
Lucha!
Not just Kalisto, not just Grand Metalik, not the other guy, Dorado. The Lucha House Party.
Hey man, what you think supposed to happen? Them Lucha House rules, baby.
We got the entire the face team of the Lucha House Party against the one heel of Scott Dawson. Anyways, like they should, the Lucha House Party won this match because it was a fucking 3-on-1. Yeah, this doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why they're doing this. If you have some insight on this, since you like the Lucha House Party, I would love to hear what your take is.
Well, one, look, it builds up Lucha House Party as your face team. And what it does is give Scott Dawson and Dash Wilde a real reason to be angry. And going forward, the angle is going to be so good because they are a pure tag team. So hopefully if WWE builds it right, their anger will build up into their next angle. So they go out and start dominating the tag teams when it's only a 2-on-2 match.
I like that. I like that explanation you gave there because I had nothing really to think of. Just to me, more special booking for the Revival. We'll see what happens with that. But then we get the finally very hyped Baron Corbin's Drew McIntyre Appreciation Night ceremony. And I thought that this was one of my favorite segments, man. It hyped Baron Corbin going against Braun Strowman. It hyped a little bit of Drew McIntyre going against Finn Balor, and it gave Drew McIntyre the platform to cut a hell of a promo, man.
That was an amazing promo. I don't even have anything bad to say. The only thing I could say is I do. Well, get to the promo, and then I'll talk about that one part to the promo where I thought would have added to it.
Yeah. So, Drew. I'm sorry. Baron Corbin gives um, Drew McIntyre a medal. Because he said something along the lines of, since Drew McIntyre took out Kurt Angle, Raw needs a new gold medalist. So Corbin actually hands Drew McIntyre the Raw Gold Medal of Excellence. Drew thanks him for it. Cuts a promo pretty much saying, he came to Raw to stomp out weakness and complacency, and he just, tears into the entire roster, saying that he's here, to be the standard bearer, and he's not taking anything other than excellency.
And the only thing that would have made this even put a cherry on top of this is if Drew would have threw that medal into
Truth.
the crowd,
And then one
because
part
it would
about
have went perfect. It would have went perfectly with what he was saying.
Yeah, and part of the promo that I just now remembered, that I'm just not thinking about, is he said something about a lot of the superstars are backstage, collecting a check and being happy, and all he wants to do is be the best. And like Ish was pointing out, he could have said something along the lines of, "I don't need a medal to say I'm the best," and like Ish said, throw it into the crowd, and it would have got some major heat, I think.
Yeah, I guarantee it would have been hot. He would have got
Sweet.
white hot off of that.
Yeah, he would have.
But once again, Drew don't even need this type of push.
No.
But it's just good. He's just so good with it right now.
I think that might have made the crowd. They were trying to get him over as a heel. It might have made the crowd actually cheer for him, a la Becky Lynch, and him being the quote unquote badass in the ring. So maybe, who knows? I really wouldn't want him to accept that medal though. I'd rather him be like a bad guy's bad guy. But as he's cutting this promo saying how great he is, Dolph Ziggler comes out and is like, "Hey man, what about me? I got you to Raw. I got you where you're going. Why wasn't I invited to all this? Why am I not getting any shine off this?" Drew puts him down. Says he's nothing. Says he, made him who he is, and then we get a good old fashioned one-on-one match, Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler. And if I could just say one thing about this match, they could have stretched this out a little bit longer. As far as the build up to it, they didn't need to have it right then and there. They could have ended that with them just brawling and coming to something else to where this actually has an actual payoff, like they do with most tag teams. But
it would have been a great. It would have been a great reason to watch next week.
Exactly.
Have a Finn Drew match. Well, I guess he already wrestled Jinder, but it would have been great to just have, like you're saying, have a brawl and then get you ready for next week.
Definitely. So we have a match between Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. This match really ends when Finn Balor comes down and he gets involved, where he does his running drop kick to Drew on the outside, which leads to Drew almost getting counted out. Dolph Ziggler hits him with the super kick and the zigzag, I do believe, for the win.
Yep. And like I said, anytime you watch a Drew McIntyre, but mainly anytime you watch Dolph with anybody, you're sure to get at least a 3 to 4 star match, and most of the time a 5-star if you really get a good match going.
Yeah, man. And I want to highlight this for the listeners, that the announcers are really hyping the interference from Finn Balor. So that was the thing that they were really going towards. After that match, Drew McIntyre is angry backstage. He says he's the mountain and everybody's going to get their comeuppance. So he's looking towards Finn Balor and he's stormed off. He's angry. After that, we get another, which is a segment we've seen plenty of times. We get Elias and Bobby Lashley. They have a segment where, he's out there with his guitar. Leo Rush comes out, talks some stuff, but instead of just, going back and forth, Elias actually gets mad, runs to the top of the ramp. They try to run away. The big highlight of this is Finn Balor comes running out, throws an escaping Leo Rush back to the stage, and Elias smashed him over the head smashed him in the back with the guitar. I know that Elias and Bobby Lashley are some of our favorite and No Jobbers Allowed. So I would love to hear Ishmael's take on this segment.
I thought it was really good setting up or continuing the feud with Bobby and Elias. And then, of course, it's always gold when you got the 24 karat piece of gold with Leo Rush because he was just amazing. And then the fact Finn throwing him back on stage to get that guitar shot to the back of the head, or excuse me, to the back was just amazing, dog. I thought it was just a pretty good little segment to bridge the show,
Definitely.
and I'm waiting to see what happens later.
I'm with you. Great entertainment. And that when I first saw it, I'm like, oh my gosh, more Elias and more Bobby Lashley, more of the same stuff. But they actually mix it up, and seeing um, Finn Balor actually get involved was really, really cool on my end. I like that a lot too because he's one of my favorites as far as being a face. Next, we get a backstage segment where Jinder Mahal is with Baron Corbin saying, you got a problem. I could take care of Finn Balor for you. Let me take care of your lightweight with you, or lightweight for you. So they set the match for later tonight. Finn Balor versus Jinder Mahal. But then Baron Corbin brings in Heath Slater and Rhino, lets them know that there is only room on the Raw roster for one of them. So he sets up a match of Slater versus Rhino later that night, and the loser gets fired. Sad, man.
Yeah, man. It was good because it actually made you care about that because, man, hey, man, I got kids.
Right, man.
Heath Slater got kids, baby.
Yeah,
And
man.
then Rhino is once again, then Rhino is like, you seen him. I still remember when Rhino interfered in the tables, ladders, and chairs match too.
Yep.
So that second match and helped Edge and Christian win. So it's one of those things where you actually cared about it, which is hard for you to do with WWE lately. But
yeah, he was original carryover from that era that we all loved so much. So we'll have more on that after we get to the match later. So we get the aforementioned Bobby Roode versus Drake Maverick. This match was kind of a throwaway match, but then all of a sudden on the main screen, we get the AOP. They're backstage. They're jumping Chad Gable while Bobby Roode is looking on. Baron Corbin announces, hey, man, actually, instead of this being a one-on-one match, this is now actually a 3-on-2 handicap match. And the AOP comes out. They put everybody, the boots to everybody. They end up letting Drake Maverick pin Bobby Roode, and they don't get their tag team title shot. Don't know how I really feel about this one, but at least hopefully it puts an end to this, man, or at least they get away from this because I don't really like it.
Well, I don't know how they could get away from it because it's Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Like,
they've been screwed so much too, but
who do you think is going to be the top number one contender for the tag titles, if not them?
The way that this Raw tag team stuff, it can't be the Revival. It has to be the Lucha House Party, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
give you a new babyface team.
Something, man. I don't know what to say, man, but this is.
Like I said, I don't know. I think right now you still got to do something with that angle because it's too much that hasn't been solved yet out of that angle. It doesn't feel like Chad Gables and Bobby Roode has their comeuppance yet.
Yep.
And I don't think you can do this without that payoff or without them getting that payoff. So
this is true. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but we'll see how it goes. Next segment it's one of our favorites here for the week at No Jobbers Allowed, just because it was so god dang outlandish. We get Dean Ambrose is coming out next, and instead of his normal entrance music, we get like a siren, like a tornado siren.
Yeah.
And a SWAT team comes out with several men wearing gas masks. And out comes Dean Ambrose, who's also wearing a gas mask, but he also has on like the Bane jacket.
I mean, I didn't know what to think of her. I was like, what is this trash? What are they doing now? But as the segment went on, as the promo went on, luckily Dean is as good as he is,
Dude,
because
yeah.
otherwise this just would not have worked. And I think it worked just a little bit.
It was over the top, and it's really playing off of Dean as being an actual madman, an actual lunatic, and he was, he cut a crazy promo. It was really really good. This led to Seth Rollins running out. Um, they get into a brawl. This ends up with Dean Ambrose got the best of this one. He hits him in the face with the mask, hits him with the dirty deeds again. Rollins is laid out. I like this segment, man. I like the new layer they're adding to Dean Ambrose, man. At first I didn't like it, but they're making him out to be super super crazy.
It's just ridiculous. And you always talk about that edge you like with Dean Ambrose. Maybe they just giving it back to you in a different way.
Yeah, man. I like it a lot. Listeners, go watch it. I really can't. I really can't even describe it better than just go watch it. Next, we get which is probably my most cringeworthy segment of the night. We get a backstage segment with Charlie Caruso interviewing Nia Jax and Tamina. They announced that Ember Moon is actually going to be in Italia's replacement. Nia Jax cuts a horrible promo only because she like shrieks in the middle of it. Like, you heard that, right, Ish? Like,
I
she
did,
like
man.
shrieks.
And what was messed up about it is like 3 seconds before that, no later than 5 seconds, I had just posted, hey man, Naya is doing pretty good with this promo, because normally I don't believe her shenanigans.
Yeah,
But,
man.
and then she shrieks into the freaking mic, and I go, oh, that
Yeah,
is the
man.
Naya I know.
Yeah, man. And then she, of course, says she's going to rearrange Ember Moon's face like she did Becky Lynch. They're still trying to go off that Becky Lynch shine that she had. And then we get to see their match later on Raw. Next, we get the loser gets fired match, Rhino versus Heath Slater. Very sadly, our long-term holdover from the end of the Attitude Era, Rhino, loses this match to Heath Slater. Yeah, it was a very sad moment, man. It was very, very sad. Heath didn't look happy about it. And to end this backstage, Baron Corbin approaches Heath Slater. He's trying to get Rhino, some help or whatever. But then Corbin's, very cockily gives Heath Slater a referee outfit. So I
Which I
guess
thought was just perfect.
so it's gonna. Well, at least we got something to look forward to with Heath Slater now, where he's gonna probably be a outlandish, crazy, over the top Raw referee. Added a little bit of brevity and a little bit of hilariousness to that sad moment of Rhino getting fired. I liked it.
I did too, man. I thought, once again, they give you something to look forward to, and like they gave you an angle that you actually cared about.
Yeah, man.
Only downside I got, it was a 45-second match. It wasn't like a match that you care about. Should at least been a little bit longer. You got a 3-hour show. You can't give time to an angle that's actually people might be invested in.
Yeah, they could have cut out that anything with Tamina in it this week. So
Yeah.
next we get Finn Balor versus Jinder Mahal. This was a good match, which saw Finn Balor winning this. But the coolest part about this is the Singh brothers were at ringside trying to distract Balor, and we get a run-in from Apollo Crews, man.
I was like, hey, Apollo, nice to see you, bro.
I'm cool with that. So he takes care of the Singh brothers, which actually helps Finn Balor, not have to worry about them and their distraction on the outside. So I like this because it set up Finn Balor as somebody who actually means something. He interfered in 2 matches earlier tonight. He's not
And
just getting
someone
feet.
cared enough to come down and help him.
Thank you. Like the last couple weeks, it's been the heels beating up everybody, the heels winning, the heels doing this. Nobody, as far as faces ganging together to win. And one of the things that I said on Twitter, I think and this will take about 2 seconds, with Roman Reigns out, with Braun Strowman out, they need a face. The one thing that they should do is they should push Finn Balor to the freaking moon right now. He should be the unequivocal top baby face in this company right now with these guys out. And I think that they're trying to go towards that with him on Raw right now, between him and Elias.
And I agree with that. I don't agree with the Elias part because Elias been healed so long. He
You're
never
right.
really been that baby face for me. But if you need a baby face of Raw right now, the one that represents Raw, you can't go no wrong with Finn Balor. I mean,
Yeah.
he's your baby face of Raw.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they're trying to give Apollo Crews a little bit of, again, some shine with helping out with Finn Balor on this one. They can go on and do some other stuff with him to actually utilize him and make him be the next up and coming face as well too. Um, we get a new vignette, man, for Lars Sullivan. They don't know which brand he's going to go to. Dude's coming from NXT. I'm excited for Lars Sullivan, man. How about you?
Man, I'm still hype off of that last week's match with him and Keith
Yes.
Lee at
Yes.
NXT, bro. That
Yes.
was an amazing match. And if he can bring just an ounce of that to Raw, I think Raw really needs him more, as a talent than SmackDown does. But if he can bring that, man,
Yeah.
Raw might got something.
Yeah, Raw needs that shine, man. SmackDown's fine for right now. SmackDown is great. They got their established stars. They're filling their 2 hours perfectly. Raw can use this. Raw can use this a little bit. So we get our main event of the evening: Ronda Rousey and Ember Moon versus Tamina Snuka and Nia Jax. And if it's one thing that I can say was terrible about this show, is we've said Tamina way too much.
Dog, they said Tamina too many times, and Michael Cole had me wanting to like tweet at him so bad and hope he reads it on live TV because he kept saying like, "And Tamina has been looking great since her comeback." I was like, "What has she done?" She
Yeah,
literally
man.
had maybe 2 matches since she been back. All she been doing is standing there,
Bro, man,
standing there.
and her work in the ring in this match was not the best.
And they kept talking about how she should be a factor in tables, ladders. She does nothing.
No, man, she's not good in the ring. And this match, I like that they really get to showcase a lot of Ember Moon. Like you said, I don't know if it was a couple weeks ago when Ember Moon lost all of her shine after getting her built up. Like, this is a breakthrough for her again, and they need to keep her at the top of this card, man, because she's actually really entertaining in the ring, and she actually led Nia Jax through a good match, I think. And actually, with Ronda Rousey being there, which made it much better. This match ends with, Ronda Rousey makes Tamina Snuka tap out to the armbar, and we get the win for Ronda Rousey again. Ronda Rousey's not losing for a while, man.
Not until at least WrestleMania.
Yeah, man. So, decent, decent main event. They had their top star right now with her head held high. Not looking forward to their match at TLC, but it is what it is. I enjoyed Raw much more than last week. I'm going to give it an overall grading, at least from Irwin's side. I give it a C. I give it a C, man.
I will go C minus.
Okay.
Because what happened was their action really did bring it way up from last week.
Yes.
But some of their segues and transitions just weren't good for me because it was like, all right, we've seen this before, like the Q&A, Baron Corbin, overuse of Baron Corbin, seen that before. Some of the things were just the same old, but the action this week really saved their ass for me. And I shouldn't say it like that, but the action for me is really what, as a fan, I wanted to see them do more of. Because if your creative team can't do anything, then at least you can put on a good ass show.
Yeah, man. And so that we gave our grades for it. That looks like that's been the No Jobbers Allowed review for Raw this week. I've got nothing else other than follow us on Twitter at Podcast NJA. Thank you so much to all our new followers and our new listeners. We appreciate every single ounce of feedback, every single criticism, every single praise. We appreciate it, and we can't thank you enough. What you got for him, Big Ish?
Well, you already know I ain't got much left either. Thank you, like he said, to all our new followers. Hopefully, our new content that we're going to be putting out soon, y'all really like. If y'all don't like, let us know, because unlike WWE creatives, we actually listen to our fans. So
Yeah.
that's all I got to say. So, like always, it's been your boys, No Jobbers Allowed, and I was Big Ish, and with me, like always, was.
Man, it is your guy, Erwin, and we out.
We out. Listen to this music.